Hello, my name is Keshwani. That's Keshwani, Keshwani. We are here because we want to prepare for SAT. We have been solving SAT grammar questions out of this book here, the official SAT study guide. If you do not own this book already, purchase one immediately. You're going to need it. The problems that we are about to solve are the ones that you will find on page number 533. Please turn to it. Page 533, and today is our lesson number 13. There are 18 questions of this particular type. The first 6 that we are about to do on this page, are all easy questions. Let's begin then. Number 12. Of the hundreds of warm water coral species, only a few, we are told, only a few are highly prized. Now, had this been the end of the sentence, this would have been a perfectly legitimate sentence, and this sentence is fine. This sentence would have been fine. Only a few are highly prized. That tells us we do not know what the answer is, but because of the fact that this sentence the way it is fine, we know the answer is not A. A is fine, and we know that the answer is not B. We don't know what the answer is, but it's not A or B. Only a few are highly prized. They go on to say, so we don't need the for their use in jewelry making, because of their beauty, which is a noun, because of their beauty, their luster, which is another noun, and they are hard. They are hard. That's not a noun. We need a noun here because of the parallel constructions. It's not. That's what's wrong with here. It's the lack of parallel constructions here. We're making a list of all the qualities of the material, and they're all listed in nouns because of its beauty, because of its luster, and because of their hardness. Not hard, but because of their hardness. They are used because of their beauty, their luster, and their hardness. That's all. The answer is D. Let's go to the next one then. The answer is D. Number 2. Because of its innovativeness and its effective presentation, Mary's science, and so far it's fine. That phrase, because of its innovativeness and its effective presentation, that phrase is perfectly fine, which means, again, we do not know what the answer is, but the answer is not A. Mary's science project received, Mary's project received, and this is fine too, so the answer is not C, received more votes at the exhibit, which is fine too. This is also fine at the exhibit. Mary's project received more votes. Oh, I messed it up, didn't I? Received was C. Received was B. B is fine. Answer is not B. Answer is not C. Answer is not C. Mary's project received more votes at the exhibit. Had this been the sentence, this sentence would have been perfectly fine. Mary's project received more votes at the exhibits. It's sort of an incomplete thought because more votes than what, but as far as the grammar is concerned, I shouldn't call it a sentence, but this phrase is perfectly fine. There is nothing wrong with it. Let's see what happens here. Mary's project received more votes at the exhibit than did Jim. The problem here is that Jim is a person. This is a project. You cannot go around comparing somebody's project to a person. Mary's project received more votes at the exhibit than did Jim's. It needs an apostrophe S, and that's all it needs. Than did Jim's. Answer is D. Let's do one more, shall we? A silly one. Let's do one more. Jim's book is more famous than Jim's book is more famous than she. No, that won't do it. Again, we're comparing Jim's book to a person. That won't do. Jim's book is more famous than hers. Now that's fine now. Let's do the next one. Number 14. Mr. Johnson's assumption that the teenager had robbed his house. His assumption that a teenager had robbed, you see it's past perfect, it's past tense here, had, as a matter of fact it's past perfect here. His assumption that a teenager had robbed his house being unfounded. Now had this been the end of the sentence, we can clearly see that this is a silly sentence. His assumption that a teenager had robbed his house was unfounded. Either was or is, depending on how the sentence finishes. But it's not being. His assumption was unfounded. Let's see if was, which one applies here, was or is. We will know that by reading the rest of it. For the witnesses, the witness described the person they had seen fleeing as a woman. They described, past tense, they described as a woman, so it should be was. Do you understand? It could have been, it is possible for it to take is, but it's not going to be being. We could have a situation like something like Mr. Assumptions that that a teenager had robbed his house is unfounded, because we know now no teenager was around in the neighborhood at the time. I don't know how they figured out, but they know now. In which case it be is, but it's not going to be being. So we have to convert that being either from a is to a was, depending on how the sentence is, and here we need was, because the entire sentence is in past tense. Let's go on then. Number 15. Waterways, plural. Waterways close to land. Pauses. Let's put down danger. Just keep it simple. Pauses. You see the subject of the sentence here. The subject is plural. Waterways. Subject is plural. Subject does not agree with the form of the verb. If it's waterways, waterways close to the land. Waterways close to the land. Not pauses, but pause, danger. Pause, challenges. That's what's wrong with it. The answer is A. Not pauses, but pause, because we're talking about waterways, not one waterway. Waterways, pause, challenge. Do you understand? You can't go around saying cars. You can't go around saying cars. Cars makes noise. You can't go around saying that, because cars is plural. Cars make noise. I know it's very simple. I don't need to explain it, but I don't know why I had to. Why I had that uncontrollable urge to get so philosophical. Number 16. During my most recent trip, something happened. End of the sentence. Let's end the sentence here. During my most recent trip, something happened. Fix it. Fix this sentence for me. How would you fix this sentence? This sentence doesn't require any fixing. It's fine the way it is. There is nothing wrong with it as far as the grammar is concerned. During my most recent trip, something happened. That tells us we do not know what the answer is, but the answer is not A, neither is it B. Answer is not A or B, it's got to be either C, D or E. Let's continue. During my most recent trip, I came across, pay attention, it's in past tense, I came across a wonderful antique shop. I came across a shop. The fact that it's a wonderful antique shop doesn't really do anything for me. I am touched, but it doesn't do much for us. I came across a shop or a store, it doesn't matter. I came across a shop wandering in the street. Oh, for crying out loud. The shop was not wandering in the street. That's not what the guy is trying to say. What he's trying to say is that during my most recent trip, I came across a shop as I was wandering in the street. That's what he's trying to say. Because the way it's written here, it sounds like it is the shop that was wandering in the street. It says, during my most recent trip, I came across a wonderful antique store. I came across a wonderful antique store wandering in the old quarters of the city. I have never seen a wonderful antique shop wandering in either new or old quarter, for that matter, of the city. They do not typically wander. He was wandering. I came across a wonderful antique shop as I was wandering in the old quarters. The answer is D. The answer is D. Let's do number 17. Last one. It is difficult to predict what kinds of books will be popular in the years ahead. Now, how would you fix that? It is difficult to predict what kind of books will be popular in the years ahead. There's nothing wrong with it. Which means the answer is not A or B. Don't know what the answer is, but it's not A or B. Because tastes change and topics either get overexposed and lose their relevance. Now, I don't want you to get too excited. This is a gift. The people who give you the exam, they give you a gift only once in the entire exam. In the whole writing portion of the exam, there is going to be one question which is going to test this concept, this idiom. The idiom here being the topics either get overexposed or they lose their relevance. So they test this idiom, they give you this idiom either or neither nor. But as I said before, I don't want you to get too excited that you're not going to find half a dozen of those. Only one in the entire exam. This was it. I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Bye now.